The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
All right, hello everybody. Dave Canyon here. Are you ready for episode 104? Wow. Okay. Well, listen, I don't want to disappoint. You're ready. I'm ready. And let's do it. I'm in the car. I'm northbound on the New York State Thruway. I'm on my way to work. I did not stay up in the fit. Yes, this morning I came home. I had to come home. I had a situation. I try to be very good about my CPAP equipment, and I cleaned the mask of my mini CPAP, although I forgot to put it back in my bag. So I actually went to work Tuesday night, and I stayed up in the Rensselaer area Wednesday morning, and I had another mask. These are all snap-on, snap-off parts. So I had the wrong mask for my other CPAP in that bag, which shouldn't be in that bag. It should not be in that bag because it's useless. But I was able to use that and get some sleep. I was able to sort of rig it in a way where it worked, but I think it leaked way too much air, and I did not have a good sleep Wednesday morning. And I didn't work out Wednesday, and I didn't work out Thursday. Well, I didn't work out Wednesday. Is today Thursday? I don't even know what I think today's Thursday, March 7th. Did I work Tuesday? I worked Wednesday. Yeah, so this is Thursday. Right, so I did not work out Wednesday or Thursday. So today's Thursday going into Friday. I got the right mask now. I'm going to stay in the area after work tomorrow. I know this is old Dave's Fit Life stuff, but Dave's Fit Life stuff does fit in Dumbing It Down. Dumbing It Down doesn't really fit in Dave's Fit Life. Not that much, but only a little. So anyway, what was I talking about? I'm talking about my mask. I didn't have the right mask because I cleaned it. I forgot to put it back in the bag, and so I didn't work out, and I didn't really sleep. And this morning I came home to retrieve my mask, and I stayed home, and I got about 6 hours of sleep, which I do feel better. I don't feel great. I have not woken up feeling great in years. How do you feel when you wake up? How do you feel? By the way, did I thank Alex Exum? He does he's the voice you hear at the top of the show. He's the guy that does the intro and not outro. He does my intro. I don't have an outro. But that's Alex Exum. You can check him out at alexexum.com. The Exum Experience and Live Talk with Alex Exum. Every Tuesday, he does a live show wherever you are in the world. It's 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern when I listen to it. And it's 1 hour. 1 hour. He does a 1 hour show. Thank you, Alex. Great job at the top of the show. And he does this for a living, the intros, outros. He'll do that for you. Just contact him at alexexum.com. I want to say hello to my friends at Mile High Radio, milehighradio.com, milehighradio.com. Thanks to Lynn Brunette for bringing me on to the station Mile High. I'm now officially syndicated. I don't know if there's a syndication check-in book, a book where I check in. So, officially, this guy now has joined the syndication ranks, So, I thought I had to wait 5 years to be syndicated, but apparently you can be syndicated anytime you want. So there you go. I was hoping for a big bump, from my syndication on Mile High Radio, but apparently Ron Burgundy now has a podcast, and he's taking all my listeners. So, all right, well, there you go. If I'm going to lose listeners to competition, might as well lose it to Will Ferrell, right? Is that his name, Will Ferrell? God bless him. He needs another thing in his life to do. That's comedic and money-making. So, there you go. Good for him. He's a podcaster now, Ron Burgundy podcast. Good for him. I'm happy. Anyway, so when's the last time you woke up and you felt good? Do you feel good often when you wake up? I don't. I haven't woken up feeling good in years. Years. Every day I wake up, I feel horrible. I really do. I feel bad. I don't feel happy. I don't feel joyous. As much as I try, I don't feel blessed. I don't feel eager. I just don't wake up feeling good. I'm not waking up depressed and angry and sad and ready to cry and ready to put a hole in the wall. I'm not all that irritable and unhospitable or inhospitable, dishospitable. Any of those anti-words. I'm none of them. I just, I have a solitary life as a truck driver. And in my family life, it's kind of solitary. You know, my wife is usually at work when I wake up because I work nights. She works days. I only have the one child, and he's 21 and a half. So he's not, at my feet when I wake up. My cat is aloof. She does whatever she wants. I no longer have dogs. So they're not waiting for me to go for a walk, which might be nice. I did enjoy walking my dogs. I always enjoyed spending time with them. But like everything else in my life, if I'm responsible for something, I really dig in. I dig in totally. And when I had dogs, that consumed a lot of my life because I felt responsible. I took them home. I had 2 rescue dogs. I took them home, and I took my responsibility very responsibly. I was very accountable for my actions. And I would give them hours of my time. Going to the creek when we lived up here, going to the park when we lived down in the city, finding other dogs for them to play with. I was a very good dog parent. Very good dog parent. I wasn't the greatest disciplinarian of dogs, and they caused me a lot of heartache and grief because I would walk them without a leash when they were up here in the woods, and then they'd run away because they get the scent and they'd run. And I never learned my lesson, and I would spend hours running around screaming my dogs' names into the woods, hours, and they would just cause me a lot of stress. But the truth be told, I caused myself a lot of stress because I was too stupid to keep them both on the leash. And one was way more of a runner than the other. The other one, the bigger one, Bobby was one of my dogs. He would come back, 15 minutes to a half an hour. He would come back. But Shiloh, the smaller shepherd collie, he'd take off. I wouldn't see him for hours and hours and hours. God knows where he went. Anyway, they're both gone now. But I do take my responsibility very seriously to other human beings, to other living things, I should say. If I had plants, forget about it. I'd probably, just like my mom, I'd have a super green thumb. Especially if I have the time. And what's interesting is I never have the time. I haven't had time, I guess, since the year of running. And even then, since the year I ran, which is always 6 or 7 years ago. I never quite remember how many years ago was the year I ran. And, I did all those half marathons and stuff. I had a job which allowed me to have the time. And the time and the energy. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had time and I had energy. So I'd go to the gym and I worked out. I went to Planet Fitness 3-4 times a week. It was right around the corner from where I worked. I really totally got my $10 a month worth. I totally did. And I would go home when I had the time, and I went home every night. But when I had the time, I would run. I'd go to the Saugerties Reservoir and I would run 4.62 miles. First I walked mailbox to mailbox, telephone pole to telephone pole, and then I ran. And then I started running 5Ks. And I would complete the 5Ks, running the whole way. First I'd walk some of it, then I ran some of it, and then I would run all of it, and then I graduated to, 5K, which is 3.1 miles. And by the way, that's metric for you, for those of you who don't know. If you know 5, then you know 3.1. I don't know if that works for everything in the metric world. I really don't know. Is 5 gallons, 3.1 liters. I don't know how that all works. No, that doesn't sound right at all. No, that's not right at all. But anyway, 5 miles is 3.1. 5K is 3.1 miles. So whatever I just said 30 seconds ago, never mind. 5K is 3.1 miles. Yeah, so 5 liters would be 3 gallons. Because 3.76 liters, I think, is 1 gallon. Not 1 gallon. 2 liter. Oh, no, that's wrong. Yeah, see, I tried. Now I just wasted a whole bunch of your podcasting time. I was trying to do soda numbers here. I think 1 gallon is 3.76 liters. It doesn't matter. 2 liter bottle. Yeah, soda comes in a 2 liter bottle. It's interesting about Americans that we're okay with soda being in a 2 liter bottle, yet we don't use the metric system. That's like the only thing that we do. I think that's automatically metric, right? As Americans, we don't mind our soda being metric. We don't do coffee metrically. We don't do paint metrically. Everything's still gallons. Milk, right? Everything is still gallons. But for some reason, soda, we've adapted to liters. Why is that? 2 liter bottle and the 1 liter bottle. By the way, 1 liter bottle is a horrible value. It's never a good value. It's just sometimes you can get flavors in a 1 liter. You can't get it in the 2 liter. This is from an ex-soda guy. Really, Dave? You were in soda? Yeah, you seem to have done every job possible. I have done a lot of jobs, and one day I'll break out the resume. That's going to be a good show. One day, it's probably a two-parter, maybe even three. I'll break out my resume, and we'll discuss all my jobs. Does that sound interesting? I think that sounds interesting to me, to hear about all the jobs I've had since when? Since I got out of the Navy, including the Navy? Boy, it's a lot of stories. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of different jobs. Okay, so anyway... where was I with leaders and all that other stuff? I don't remember what I was talking about. But what I was talking about is exercise. Yeah, 5K, 3.1 miles. So the year I ran, it was the last year I woke up feeling good that I can remember. I actually don't remember waking up and feeling good, but I don't think I woke up and felt this bad. But I was dedicated, and I did enjoy that. And I looked forward to getting back to that as I transitioned into life from work. I don't know when that's going to be. I'm 55 and a half now. So I'm 56 in August of 2019. For those of you who are listening to this in the year 2020, 2025, or whenever. So 56 in August of 2019. I like to work no later than 60. I would like to be transitioned into life by then. Why is that a hard word? Probably because I'm exhausted. And I know that this exhaustion, this bad feeling I have, affects me and affects my relationships. I know it does. It's like the Princess and the Pea, right? The pea, what is that? There's a pea at the bottom of the mattress. I don't even really know the story. I could have sworn I saw Sandy Duncan, or was it Dorothy Hamill, or somebody did an off-Broadway presentation or whatever of the Princess and the Pea. That's me. I'm the princess, and in my life there's a pea. You can take that so many different ways. But, yeah, there's always something irritating me. Always. And that, yet, if I met you randomly, I'd hold the door open for you, although nobody holds the door open for me at all. That's a very strange phenomenon. I wish I had a GoPro on my shoulder to show you all the different people who run away from me in parking lots and then run into malls and don't hold the door. They don't even look back. Like, how do you not even instinctively turn around and look back? Oh, I'm going through this door. I wonder if somebody's going through this door behind me. So sometimes it's personal, and sometimes I don't take it personal. I just find it interesting that how very rarely anybody holds the door open for me, yet I instinctively go through doors, always turning to my right. So I seem to open the door with my right hand, and then I turn to my right to see if anybody's coming. And I'll stand there for a good 10 seconds, and I'll wait for somebody to walk. And I yell, don't rush, it's okay, take your time. I'm very nice about that. I'm old school, I hold the door open for you. Very rarely does somebody hold the door open for me. And I usually instinctively, immediately text my wife. So you're not going to believe this. I just walked into JCPenney. Somebody closed the door right behind me. Not closed the door behind me, but either didn't want to make eye contact with me or was just so inconsiderate. And it's so, that they just kept on going. And it can't be a coincidence. I'm sure some of you are thinking, no, Dave, that's not you. That's people. I go, I don't know, man. I'm getting a bad vibe from the universe, a really bad vibe. But and I know what I look like, and I can only imagine. So whatever. I look in the mirror. I know what they see, and I know how ridiculous people can be. Hold on, I'm going to take a little coffee break here. 1 second. Enjoy a drink. We're 13 minutes in, 14 minutes in. Oh, by the way, my wife and I bought an espresso machine. Nespresso. Is that famous one that's on TV? With George Clooney and Danny DeVito, whatever. So I didn't buy it because of the commercial. I bought it because a friend of mine has one, and I really liked their coffee when I went to visit them. So, and a couple of nights ago, I was in Mahwah, New Jersey, and I stopped at the Pilot truck stop to get some coffee. And they had a creamer. And I'm not a fan of creamers only because of the little plastic packets. Those are really bad for the environment. It's really bad, these plastic packets. And I am an environmentalist. I don't do very well at it. I don't do enough at all. I do what I can. I'm very conscious about it, and it bothers me. It bothers me like many things in my life bother me, that I'm doing, being so wasteful. But they had this coffee creamer. They usually have French vanilla. They have hazelnut, things like that. They had, check this out, this new flavor. It was in an orange sort of an orangey little packet that the creamers come in. Like whatever, half and half, that type of thing. Reese's Pieces chocolate flavor. Reese's Pieces. Can you believe it? They actually take the time. They took the time to somehow formulate, and I like to think it's a special flavor. They've got me so convinced. So I put a couple in my coffee. It was very good. It took like 4 or 5 because, it's free. It's like chocolate syrup. It's like chocolate milk. Whatever it is, it's Reese's Pieces. I'm an American. I'm not from another planet, although sometimes it might seem like it. But it was Reese's Pieces. I mean, there's no candy in it. It's just chocolate flavor. But oh my God, I put it in my coffee. It was really good. And I'm drinking that right now. I took extra because it's for free, so it's not really stealing. If you're at a truck stop and you see, or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, and you see these creamers and you want some for later, I take them. I take 4 or 5, 6, put them in my pocket. If somebody says, "Hey man, you can't take all those creamers out of the store with you," I'm like, "Well, I just bought my coffee from you. I might want some more. I can't stand here. My truck is outside. I don't know if I might want more creamers. Your coffee is especially hot, sir or madam." So, it's not theft because you're taking a free item. They normally wouldn't charge for it. So there's a good question. Is it theft if it's for free and you're taking it out of the store in your pocket and you're not utilizing it right there? Right? Like an extra spoon, extra straw, napkins. It's free. I took it. Anyway, so I'm having that right now. It's really delicious. I just want you to know. So if you like coffee, I don't know where else you can get this. I just found it at the Pilot Truck Stop, Route 17, Mahwah, New Jersey. And if Bobby Guarente is listening from Mile High Radio, he's probably the closest to that truck stop. And although Pilot truck stops are all over the United States, so look it up. Pilot, P-A-I-L-O-T. Also, I think they go into Flying J truck stops, I think. So, yeah, Reese's Pieces, chocolate flavor. It has nothing to do with metric, running 5Ks. It has nothing to do with how I feel. Although it does make me feel good right now. It makes me feel good to talk about it. So anyway, it has affected me. Feeling bad every day. People don't hold the door open for me. That's something totally separate. And really, I started this podcast for a couple of reasons. One, because now that I'm on Mile High Radio, milehiradio.com, milehiradio.com. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate it. And Bobby Guarente. I just love it. I really wish I had that music. I'm sure I don't know if he's Mexican or Hispanic or whatever he is. I only seen a couple of pictures of him. But I've never even actually heard his voice. I really should look into some of his broadcasting endeavors. No, I think I have actually, but I just don't remember. But every time I say Bobby Guarente, I should have that music. Whatever that is. That's my horrible rendition of, Spanish music or Mexican music, or really showing my ignorance right now, I'm sure. Anyway, Lynn has no music, but she is music on her own, onto herself. So, living out there in Vancouver Island, hiring the likes of me, must be it's either really a great life or a really sad, dark, dank existence. You're like, all right, I give in. We'll give this moron a show. We'll give him a slot on our radio station. Probably down to her last scotch or whatever, 2 o'clock in the morning. She's like, all right. Now, she was pretty conscious on the phone when we talked about it. She seemed pretty conscious. That's what I can say about people who support me. They seem pretty conscious. I really don't know. I can't vouch for the people who enjoy my show or me at all. I just assume everybody's delirious. Everybody's out of their minds. All right. But it does affect me, and therefore it affects everything I do, which is have relationships. And that's really how the show started. I have a responsibility now to Mile High Radio. I got to come up with an hour of broadcasting every week for them. And I could give them a half-hour old show and a half-hour new show. And I could do any variation of an hour. It doesn't have to be half hour. But in my, OCD, dopey head, I'm thinking how neat it would be to have 2 half hours, right? That's clean. It's clean and neat. 40 and 20, that doesn't really work. It works, but it doesn't really work for other stations if I should choose to syndicate some more. Because, of course, now that I've unraveled, I've opened up the syndication wormhole, or the syndication box of snakes. What do they call that? Pandora's, syndication box. I now want to be syndicated everywhere. Why not, right? What's wrong with me? Why not me? I'm no Ron Burgundy. But hey, syndication now. So anyway, that's my little revolution. I just had a 5-second revolution. Syndication now. That's it. Now it's 10 seconds. So I knew I had to do a show, and I've had a couple experiences lately. We're 20 minutes in. We should do a breather. Let's do a breather. Maybe I'll feel better, and I won't talk about this. But let's do a breather. All right? I actually prepared for my breather. Oh, that's congestion right there. You hear that? All right, jeez. All right, let's do it anyway. Whatever. Just because I can't breathe doesn't mean that you can't breathe. Let's do a breather. We'll do a quick breather, and then we'll finish up the show. All right? I don't do commercials. I don't have it. Nobody sponsors me. There's a lot of good reasons to sponsor me. Reeses Pieces could sponsor me for their creamer. Spreaker could sponsor me, but, whatever. Because my show's also on Spreaker, and you can find it on iTunes. At Dumb with Dave. You can tweet me at Dumb with Dave. And, dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com is an email address. I haven't had an email in 2 years. I used to beg for emails. I don't beg for emails anymore. Or leave your comments right here in the show section, like my good friend Linda Irwin from McCall, Idaho, who I think is buried in several feet of snow. She might be either still in McCall, Idaho, producing Awesome Insanity Surface, the podcast, which I strongly recommend for science fiction comedy or just regular comedy, but it has a sci-fi taste to it. Sci-fi bend. If you're going to talk about sci-fi, it wouldn't be a taste; it would be a bend. It has a bend to it. Awesome Insanity Surfers. You can find that here on Spreaker too. Awesome Insanity Surfers. It's a great name. I love the name. And that's Linda Irwin. Look at that. I got Linda and I got Lynn. 2 L's that like me. Oh, and they're L's. And Helen. Helen likes me too. She has an L. Wow, that's so weird. What's with the L? Because my last name ends in K. Maybe KL. That's interesting. Probably not really, but whatever. So, yeah, she's buried under, I don't know how many feet of snow right now. Unless she's, living in the Arctic Circle or Antarctica. But that's what it seems like. From the pictures she's posted on Facebook and, not Facebook, Twitter and the videos that she's recently produced. But anyway, let's take a breather. Let's do that. All right, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. We're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and we hold it. When we inhale, we hold the breath for a little bit, and we try to make the whole thing last about 5 or whatever seconds. And we try to breathe as deeply as possible. Each breath deeper than the one before. We hold it as long. Maybe the last one will hold a little bit longer until it hurts, and then we'll let it out. Ready? Here we go. 3 deep breaths. Go. Wow, that was surprising to me. I didn't think I had that in me. All right. I'm congested, but I still was able to take a deep breath. Here we go. Breath number 2. How was it for you? You okay? Don't do it if you don't want to. If it makes you feel bad. Makes you wobbly, weebly. Don't do it. Dizzy. Here we go. 1 more. 2 more. Ready to go. Number 2. Wow. I got to tell you, that this is making me happy. I'm still going to talk about what I wanted to talk about, but this is making me happy. I couldn't do this 6 months to a year ago. If you listen to old episodes of Dumbing It Down with Dave, my breaths were not this strong. All right, ready? I don't know if you can tell, but anyway, here we go. Last one. Hold it at the top. Make it hurt. And then, I don't know why, but it seems like a good Marine military thing as a man for me to say. And then we let exhale. Ready? 3rd one, go. Wait. 3rd one, go. All right, congratulations. That was very good. Very proud of you. That's very good. Wow, I love it when I feel that rib cage expand. I really do. I love feeling that. I really can feel it. I visualize it, and it makes me think, Dave, you really got to get back to meditation, and healthy life. I got my apple cider vinegar water bottles in my cooler that I refilled. I got my little green drink that I'm drinking. It's a tablet, some sort of thing my wife found on QVC. I have no idea if it's good or not. It's like an Alka-Seltzer tablet. You crack it in half, you put it in your 20-ounce water bottle, you shake it up, you drink it. It's supposed to give you like 1,000,000% of, good stuff, whatever. Anyway, so we're down to the last 5 minutes of the show, and I'm finally going to get to it, what the show is really all about, other than me fulfilling my obligation to Mile High Radio, milehiradio.com, and which is good. They're forcing me to do. They're not forcing me. The thought that I'm responsible for filling an hour of airtime I can't just go up and down the freeway and go, I don't feel like doing a show today, which I've done a lot. I'm very organic in that way. I'm not really, podcast oriented right now. I'm like, oh, I have to do a podcast. I'm a podcaster. Hey, you know what, Dave? You're a truck driver. You're a truck driver. You're going to be a truck driver for the rest of your life. You'll always be a truck driver. That's what you do. That's what you do best. That's what they pay. That's what the universe has decided for you to do. You just happen to do a podcast. And a few people listen to it. So I don't feel like I have to do it. Or maybe if I did a regimented schedule like I wanted to at first, one podcast on the way to work at the beginning of the week, and one podcast at the end of the week, on the way back from work where I'm more exhausted. Maybe if I'd stuck to that, maybe my show would be interesting to hear my perspective on things at the beginning of the week, relatively rested, coming off 2 or 3 days off, whatever my 2 or 3 days off means, and then doing another show 4 days later, early morning on the way back, exhausted from working, probably driving a truck for 56 to 60 hours a week. If I've done a fourth day, if I've done a fifth day, then I'd be coming home after 70 hours of work, 72 hours, yeah. I'd be dead to the world, and I'd be very easily irritable and angry and puzzled and confused, and you'd hear me yawning and be horrible. But anyway, that's the original premise of the show. Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth, doing a podcast to and from work during my commute. Because otherwise I talk to myself. And if you talk to yourself and people drive by, they think you're crazy. If you're talking to yourself, you're saying the same exact words, but you got a phone in your hand, well, obviously he's in a conversation. If you're talking to yourself, saying the same exact words, and you're talking into a phone, and you're recording a podcast, well, now he's creative. I've gone from insanity to respectable to creative. Then that's how I roll. And it works for me. Not really, but, somewhat. Anyway, you know what? I don't have my glasses on. Am I at 26 minutes? I can't even see the screen. Oh, my God, it's painful. 27 minutes. All right, so I got 3 minutes to burn. Here we go. So, my friends, I have visited and revisited this topic over and over and over again. And I don't know how many listeners I have that enjoy or don't enjoy hearing me talk about my friends, or my so-called friends, my friends in quotations, my Facebook friends in quotations, my acquaintances, my former friends. I don't think I really have enemies. I don't think I'm an enemy of anybody. I don't think anybody's really an enemy of me. At 55, maybe I've grown out of that. Is that too old to have enemies? I don't really have a strong political agenda and all that other stuff. So I don't think I have enemies. I'm not a fan of Ron Burgundy and his podcast, sucking up the podcast listener world, but whatever. God bless him. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. Like he needs another revenue source. Yeah, a little jealousy there, a little anger. Yeah, a little bit. But I have one really good friend, and that's Mark. And I know it's a little selfish of me, but, he listens to my podcast. He watches my YouTube show. He comments. It took a little training. He didn't know that this was something he was supposed to do. And I find that fascinating. I don't think Mark is a liar. He might be a bit of an embellisher, like we all are. He might not be. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to believe the things he says. Certain things, not all things, very few things. But he's a friend. And then I followed it up by, he listens to my podcast and he watches my YouTube channel. He doesn't share. He's not a sharer because he's not really internet oriented, which is interesting because all my friends all seem to have an excuse. And I don't know if that's my age because I'm 55, but they seem to have an excuse why they can't help me out, why they can't support the show. And I really have said this before. I really like to say, I would really like to sit down on it with a piece of paper and a pen and a cup of coffee with Reeses Pieces, syrup in it and all that other stuff. And write down all the excuses and reasons I've heard why people can't support my show. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, is it something? What is it, on tape? A cassette? Oh, what do I need? A Panasonic tape recorder? What do I need? Is that a party line? Do I crank the knob? How do I get connected? Oh, I thought it was a picture. Oh, that's a video. Oh, is that with the arrow in the middle? Blah, 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 blah. Morons. I have morons for friends. Well, I only got 30 seconds to go. I want to end this at a half an hour, but maybe I'll address this in episode 105. Thanks for listening, folks, all right? Got to go. That's that time again. I got to go. Did I just wet your beak? I wet your beak? All right, I'll do another episode. We'll talk about my friends, all right? Goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, Godspeed, Good Rats, goodrats.com, and great skills. Goodbye.